Think you know the real story behind the Battle of Thermopylae from the movie 300? What if I told you it was only a small part of a much larger and more complex story? One filled with betrayal, ambition, and ancient warfare that shaped the future of Greece? The movie 300 gave us an epic portrayal of the Spartans' last stand against Xerxes' massive Persian army. But the reality? It's even more fascinating. There's so much more to the invasion than what Hollywood showed. The real numbers, the strategy, and the players involved are far different from what you might think. In this video, we'll uncover the true story behind Xerxes' invasion of Greece, what really happened, and how it changed the course of history forever. The conflict between Persia and Greece didn't begin with Xerxes. It started a decade earlier with his father, Darius I, who tried to conquer Greece in 490 BCE. His invasion ended in a shocking defeat at the Battle of Marathon, where a smaller Athenian force held off the Persian army. Humiliated, Darius vowed revenge, but he died before he could strike again, leaving the task to his son, Xerxes.
By the time Xerxes took power, the Persian Empire stretched across 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. Xerxes commanded vast resources and an empire that seemed unstoppable. Greece, by comparison, was a collection of small, independent city-states, making it appear like an easy target. But Xerxes' invasion wasn't just about revenge for his father's loss. He saw Greece as a threat, and his goal was to crush that threat, expanding Persian control deeper into Europe and securing his place as one of history's greatest rulers. Xerxes' army was massive, though not quite as exaggerated as the movie 300 suggests. Historians estimate his force was around 100,000 to 150,000 troops. Managing such a huge army across Greece's rough terrain was a logistical challenge, requiring immense resources. Meanwhile, Greece was deeply divided. While Sparta and Athens chose to resist, other city-states like Thebes surrendered to Xerxes, hoping to avoid destruction. This disunity weakened Greece's defense, as not all were united against Persia. To resist Xerxes, a coalition called the Hellenic League was formed, led by Spartan King Leonidas. But it wasn't just Sparta. Other Greek city-states like Athens and Corinth also sent soldiers. However, this alliance was fragile due to internal conflicts and differing loyalties.
Though the movie 300 highlights the Spartans, Leonidas wasn't fighting alone. Along with 300 Spartans, he was supported by about 7,000 soldiers from other Greek city-states. They chose Thermopylae, a narrow pass, as their battleground because it limited the advantage of Xerxes' larger army. For 3 days, the Greeks held off relentless Persian attacks, using the terrain to their advantage. The Persians couldn't overwhelm the Greek defense, despite their superior numbers. The fighting was brutal and tested the endurance and skill of both sides. However, the battle took a dark turn when a local Greek named Ephialtes betrayed his people. He revealed to Xerxes a hidden mountain path that allowed the Persians to flank the Greek forces. Surrounded, Leonidas ordered most of the army to retreat, while he and his 300 Spartans, along with a few hundred others, stayed to fight to the death. Their sacrifice became a symbol of courage for generations to come. Though Thermopylae was a defeat, the Spartans' sacrifice inspired the rest of Greece to unite more strongly against Xerxes. This showed that even a small, determined force could stand up to an empire, sparking a wave of resistance across the city-states. Later, in 480 BCE, the Greeks achieved a decisive victory at the Battle of Salamis. The Athenian navy, led by Themistocles, tricked Xerxes' fleet into the narrow straits of Salamis, where the Persian ships couldn't maneuver. This naval victory forced Xerxes to retreat much of his army back to Persia. A year later, in 479 BCE, the remaining Persian forces were defeated at the Battle of Plataea by a united Greek army. This final victory ended Xerxes' invasion and ensured Greece's independence, shaping the course of Western history. The movie 300 took many creative liberties to make the story more dramatic. Xerxes is portrayed as a godlike figure towering over his soldiers, but in reality, he was a mortal king. The film also focuses mainly on Spartan heroism, while downplaying the contributions of thousands of other Greeks who fought at Thermopylae. While Spartans were fierce warriors, their society wasn't as idealized as the movie shows. Spartan life was harsh and militarized, heavily reliant on the labor of enslaved helots, who maintained the economy. This allowed Spartans to focus on warfare, but their society was far more complex. The Persian strategy, too, was much more than brute force. Xerxes ruled through a system of satraps, or governors, and his strategy included diplomacy. He offered clemency to Greek city-states that surrendered, showcasing a sophisticated approach to expanding his empire. Xerxes' invasion of Greece, though unsuccessful, had a lasting impact on the future of Greece and the Western world. By defeating the Persian Empire, Greece's city-states were able to preserve their cultures and ideas, shaping the foundations of Western civilization. If Xerxes had won, the political and cultural landscape of Europe could have been entirely different. What if the Persians had won? How different would our world be today? If you enjoyed uncovering the real history behind 300, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into historical events. Be sure to check out our other video on the Greco-Persian Wars for more insight.